My name is Jim Lagacy. I work for MassWildlife and coordinate the angler education program. And today we're going to set a tip up. Very basic operation here. There's just a couple critical steps you need to know to put the bait in the right location and to make sure you can actually catch fish. So the first thing we do, here's your standard tip up right here. There's nothing much to it. Three bars of wood, a little spool, a trip mechanism, and a little spring steel as a flag. So we're going to open that up to start with, and then secure the set screws down so it's formed into a cross, and then take the flag out just like that. And the first thing we do, and the most critical thing in the entire procedure, is we have to sound the hole. And sounding the hole is just figuring out the depth at each individual hole when you're ice fishing. So nothing to it. Use what we call a sounder, surprisingly. And we're just going to put that on your hook and drop that down in the water column slowly. So there's all different kinds of sounders. Some of them have little springs on them. This one just has a little clip. You clip right onto the hook like that. And we're just going to drop it right down into the water column. Just like that. And we're just going to let it slowly cascade down so it won't fall off that hook. We're in fairly deep water here. I think we're just about on the bottom now. Okay, so now we're on the bottom. And we know that because we can feel that sounder, that little 2-ounce sounder, just literally thudding on the bottom. So then we're going to put our depth. You can use an ice bobber or just a button you can put on it in the old craft store. You can grab these buttons and slide them on your ice fishing line. And you're just going to slide that down to the top of the water column like that. So you've got a straight line down to your sounder. Then you're going to pick it up and slide that button 2 feet-ish toward the sounder or toward the bottom. And what that's going to do, that simple operation, is just going to keep your bait off the bottom and not hiding on the bottom in the weeds and in the rocks. And then after that, you're just going to bring the entire setup right back up onto your spool. And the average tip up is probably, $12 to $15, that kind of thing. And there's really elaborate ones you can buy, but these are the really cheap ones. And then you're just going to take the sounder off away from the hole so you don't drop it down the hole. And then we need a shiner. Shiners, you can get them at bait and tackle shops, and these are golden shiners, typical New England pond shiners. And what I like to do with the shiner is put it on the hook under the dorsal fin above the spine. So kind of like where the dark skin meets the lighter skin. And it's wiggling around really good. The other way you can do it is by right under the lips, through the lips, I should say, but I don't like the way they swim, and they breathe by opening and closing their mouth with their gills. So it kind of cripples them a little bit, and they may die quicker. And you also have a little split shot weight, which gets that light shiner down into the water column. So then you just put it right back down in the water column, slowly. It's going to probably drop slow anyway, unless that split shot's a little heavier. But I like to use just a little light one so that shiner swims more or less naturally. You're just going to let that go until the button is right on top of the spool. And we're probably fishing in at least a good 20 feet of water here, so it's going to take a little time. And this operation changes with each hole. I mean, you could be in 5 feet of water or 50 feet of water. That's why finding the bottom is critical and setting your depth button is critical. And there we go. It's right on the top now. Now you just have to set the flag. And that's your trigger mechanism right there. You're just going to bring the flag down and put it on the open side, so if the fish bite, it triggers that flag to go off. So we'll do that. And then there's considerations for the wind. So the wind today is kind of blowing out of the northwest, more of a north right now, so you want to set it so that the wind doesn't knock it off the trigger. If you were to set it like that, the wind might blow it right off. So we want to kind of face it toward the wind, drop it down in the water column slowly, making sure the button is visible, and you've just set a tip up.